So today we're going to be trying to fix two bugs. And those two bugs are, let's say we have a stone surrounded by either standing stones or capstones, and we want to move that stone. If we select it, we can't actually move it, which means we can't actually get out of movement event 2. Actually, we can get out of movement event 2 by locking in our stone, but that means there's no legal moves in movement event 3, and then we're stuck and we can't get out of it. We can't dump our stone or anything. So we need to prevent that, as well as we want to be able to, on a 14 stack, let me just get a 14 stack, just like that. Now, we also want to prevent us from being able to move, like right here. Since this is a 14 stack, this shouldn't be a legal move, because if we try to dump it on our 14 stack, we crash. So we have to do those two things. We have to make it so that a stone surrounded by non-legal moves never turns out to be clickable, even if it's in our stack control. And we need to prevent us from dropping any stones or picking up a stone whose only legal move would be to be on a 14 stack. So we need to do those two things at least. Then we can get to debugging some issues. So what's the first thing we got to do here? Now, the thing we need to change is in our movement event 1, I believe. Because we're surrounded by standing stones. And it's our turn. In our movement event 1, we need it to be, we need to update. Right now we're saying if it's in our control, which right now stack control is to white and it's white's move, therefore we can move the stack. But we need to do a check. We need to do a check where we check the surrounding stones of our stack control, and if all of them are a standing stone or a capstone or a 14 occupant, then we need to not become a legal move here. Now, I guess let's take a look at our movement event 1 and see. So look, this is our code for setting legal moves upon stack control, and we're saying if it's white's turn, stack control's white, legal move gets true. Now, it's not that simple. We need to also say, we need to say if it's in our control, I'm a little stumped with our legal move highlight, what we have to do for that. I think we can kind of leave this as is, and we could add another thing here. See, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prevent checking every surrounding grid for its stone control. I'm trying to prevent doing that 60 times a second. I guess we're assigning legal move 60 times a second. And we're assigning legal move highlight 60 times a second, so what's a better way to do this? Because if we were to add just at the end right here, we were to say, this is like pseudocode, but we say if stone surrounded by standing stones, legal move gets false. But then on the very next frame, it'll say, oh, we're stack control, so we're legal move here. So I guess we would need to I don't know. I'm wanting to do this stuff once in movement event 1. I'm not wanting to do this every single frame because it won't change. The only thing that will need to change every frame is whether or not we're highlighting our legal move, and that's based on, right now that's based on our stack control, but it should be based on our legal move. So I'm trying to think of a way where we can say, how do we do this only once? We'd want to say, we'd want to have some sort of toggle that once we populate our grid with our legal moves, we're no longer updating any legal moves. Unlike here where we're doing it based on stack control every single frame. We want to be able to do it once at the beginning of our movement event, and then say, then if our mouse grid is equal to our grid and it's a legal move, then we want to highlight it. Otherwise, it's not highlighted with a legal move highlight. So I'm thinking we'd want to do something right here where we say, I want to say something like movement event 1 populated. If movement event 1 what do we even call it? We're trying to toggle the legal moves for our movement event 1. So do we say movement event 1 legal moves populated? So and we would say if we're not populated, then we want to go ahead and populate our legal moves based on stack control, and we need to, this is where we would do our if we're surrounded, but it's a little more complicated than that because it's not just if we're completely surrounded, it's if our only legal moves or our only orthogonal moves would be an illegal move like this. You know, this isn't completely surrounded by standing stones. It's only got 2 around it. So we would need to code in a corner case, an edge case, which only has 3, and then a middle case, which we've already kind of done before for other reasons. but we can do that here, and then at the end of that, populating our legal moves, we can say, okay, at the end of that, we would say, then we set our movement event 1 legal moves populated to true, and then we would need to move out our legal move highlight so that we would actually do it every frame. So we would still need to do that, but basically this Boolean and this condition prevents us from checking all of our surrounding cases for every single grid in our stack control, for every single occupant. We don't want to be checking every single surrounding occupant in their stack control every single frame. We just want to do it once upon our movement event 1 being assigned. Then once it is movement 1, we'll assign all of our legal moves once with the new logic, and then swap this Boolean. Therefore, then we would have to check where our mouse position is to ensure our legal move highlight. But I think that might work. Yeah. So yeah, geez, okay. Let's move this out. So we would need to do this every frame. So we can put that right here. We can say if players equal to 1, then if the grid our mouse is over is a legal move. Then we highlight it, otherwise we don't. And then I guess we don't really even need to ask what player we are, because legal moves for either player is going to be the same thing, which is just rendering the legal move highlight if we're hovered over it and it's a legal moves. And so we might actually be able to get away with not even having that. So let's get rid of this, because see, it's the same line of code whether or not we're player 1 or player 2, depending on stack control, but we assign legal move based on stack control here at the beginning, so we shouldn't need to do that. So we should be able to get rid of this and this. Okay. So this nested for loop is going through every grid in our 2D array, and it's saying if stack control corresponds to what player's turn it is, then that's a legal move. Now, for every single grid, we need to do this logic where we say, we do these, all these middle logic. Well, yeah, let me find the, See how we've got middle cases, edge cases. See, we need corner cases. Where are our corner cases? Here's the corner cases. We need to do something similar here. I'm going to copy our corner, edge, and middle case logic so that we can see what it would look like here in our movement event 1. Now, before we render whether or not it's a legal move or render the legal move highlight, we need to check. Actually, we need to check every single one here. So we can go ahead and say, hey, if we have stack control, sure, it's a legal move. But then we need to say if it's a, for example, corner case top left, if 1, 2, and 1, if 2, 1, and 1, 2 are standing stone, capstone, or they're occupants. How do we do that? Yeah, we need to check. Yeah, we need to check if all the surrounding orthogonal spaces are either 14 occupants worth, a standing stone, or a capstone. And then when we go to do our off-grid Boolean flip, we need to check whether our next move would have a 14 occupant as well. And if it does have a 14 occupant, then we're off-grid. Therefore, you would need to drop all your stones. Now, I'm actually imagining a scenario where it would still mess up. And that would be, it's not, oh my God. Like, let's say there's a 10 stack right beneath you, and you pick up 5 stones from the grid above, and you can't move to the right because there's a standing stone, and you can't move just straight over because there's a standing stone. Oh, shoot. Because then you would be forced to drop 5 stones in a 10 stack, which would cause the break. I don't think anyone would really do that. That's the thing. It's like, it's not that. We just want to prevent these crashes from happening. Just don't want it to be able to crash. I wonder if there's some sort of boss move we can do where we say, like, we take a look at what exactly crashes, which is our indexing a nil value in our members table of our occupant class. And we can say, if that member is nil, then go ahead and reset. So like, instead of crashing, because it doesn't know what to do, if that's ever nil or something, then we would just reset the board to the last position so that it wouldn't crash. But that's a whole nother slew of problems, because then we have to track the board. We have to track all of the boards, all of the board and the occupants and all the variables for every member and occupant, and be able to save that somewhere into variables somewhere and be able to restore it in case anything goes wrong. That's looking to be really tough. So I'm not sure if that's possible, but I don't know. Let us instantiate our movement event 1 legal moves populated to become false upon a grid reset, and a player swap. Okay. Then we're saying in our movement event 1, we're going through every occupant, and if we have stack control, we're a legal move. Then we need to do something where I think we need to explicitly check every corner case first. Then we can say, oh, see an edge case. Okay. There's only 3 edge cases per side, and only 1 corner case per corner, and there's only 9 middle cases possible. So that should help kind of theorize how we can do this. Now, I'm going to copy our corner, edge, and middle cases. See, so right here we're doing something similar in the sense that we're saying we might have okay. Wait, is this this is movement event 3. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, my bad. I was getting ahead of myself. Here. Okay. So this ideally only happens once upon a movement event 1, and then as soon as we assign all of our legal moves, will be populated. Therefore, we don't mess with any of our legal moves at that point. We just worry about rendering them if they are in fact a legal move. And clicking only does anything if it's a legal move, so as long as we flush these to false if they're not a legal move, we should be good. So it's not right here. The row is actually I. The column is actually J. So we just need to get this right. Okay. Because we're cycling through, we have to cycle through okay, well. Yeah, see this, this does not equal 1 or does not equal 5 is a way of saying I needs to be either 2, 3, or 4. For an edge case, but I, J, J, J. J. I. Now the thing is, we're not trying to set our legal moves for the orthogonal spaces. We're trying to see whether or not that the top stone, so that would be our stone control. We're trying to see if our stone control is equal to a standing stone or a capstone. And it's not just that we're trying to see if it's a standing stone or capstone. It's that if all of our surrounding spaces are a standing stone or capstone. So we would say if the one to the right of us is a standing stone or capstone, or it's an occupant with 14 stones, the max amount of stones. So if it's surrounded by that, and if we're trying to see if the one above it is that, and if the one below it is that. So similar. So if our grid 1, or grid 2, 1 is also a standing stone or a capstone, or having, and this needs to be 2, 1, and this needs to be 2, 1, 14. And if both of those are true, then we are in fact surrounded by illegal moves. Therefore, we would get our grid at our ij, which in this case would be 1, 1. Our grid ij would become a legal move getting false at that point. So what I'm going to do is put these commented out. Okay, so now I'm hoping nothing is different from what our code used to be, except for the fact that we're actually only doing a legal move highlight every 60 frames instead of setting our legal move to true based on stack control every 60 frames. But the only other thing we're doing is that if we're in a grid 1, 1 and the stones in the orthogonal spaces are so look, let's just do one standing stone surrounded. Well, I don't know why that happened. Yeah, we need to do this. For I gets 1, 5, do for j gets 1, 5, do there we go. So we're surrounded by only one standing stone, and it's our turn. This isn't working. See, this should be a legal move because we have stack control and we're not surrounded. Yet it's not becoming true. We've got right here, if we have stack control, then sure, we're a legal move, but that is not happening. Now, actually, I'm going to add a movement event 0. We're going to assign us to movement event 0. See, this is dangerous. We're movement event 0 because we don't want to toggle the wrong variable before we're in a movement event. So we default to movement event 0, but then as soon as we are in a move type move, we're movement event 1. So if we're in a move type, move, then if movement event is 0, then that's when we change to a movement event 1. Now let's see if that fixes us. Okay, that is fixing us. So let's check whether or not I want to put this back on. I'm going to put the falsify back on so we can test this. Come on, where's movement event 1? Here. Okay. So if we have, we're not surrounded by lay stones or standing stones, so we should be able to render a legal move down here, which we are. So let's try that same thing if we are actually surrounded, which at this point, in a move type move, this one is legal move, true, sure, because we're not surrounded by illegal moves. But over here, this is not a legal move, even though we have stack control, because you cannot move this stone anywhere if you pick it up. We could move this one, however. This is... It's broken. It's not letting me move this. No legal moves. Come on, man. It works fine there. Why is it working now and not in the other example? So look, this is looking right because this is not a legal move, even though we got stack control, and this is a legal move. Yet, see now, why is this working? And it just wasn't working. Why is it that that's not working? It's not working on this left edge for some reason. Can we move any standing stones on the left side, no matter what? No. Can we move any standing stones on any edge case, no matter what? Bottom seems to be working. Can we do the right side? Right side seems to be working. Can we do top side? Top side seems to be working. How come? So the corner case seems to be working. Corner case seems to be working. It's just our edge, our left edge case, that we aren't able to lock in any legal moves for our standing stone pickup. Now, can we do any other stones? Can we move a white stone? We can't move a white stone, a white lace stone either. Why is that the case? Does this mess us up? No, it's just jacked. It looks like our edge cases for moving our legal moves is a little bit wrong. So let's see. Our left edge case would be a 1 on the row. No, it would be a 1 on the column and a 2 through 5 on the row. So 1 on the column. Well, let's see. We want the edge cases, right? So this is, if our row is 1. Oh, see, look, this is it. This is wrong right here. We put column here, and that should fix our problem. Okay, now that should fix our problem. Now, the other thing is, I think that was actually one of our big bugs last time. We had no idea what broke, so that makes me feel good that we're... Oh, come on, dude. Dude, what? God dang it. Let's try it again. Okay. We're really not able to do jack shit. That's working fine. Why is our left still acting up? This is our left edge, and our left edge would mean we are a column of 1. That's right. Column of 1 and a row in between 2 to 5. So we had this backwards. We changed our wrong code with some even more wrong code. But that should be it. Now we should allow our left edge case to lock in or be able to move even a standing stone, which we are. Okay. So now we'll see whether or not our falsify is working for our top left corner case. So let's see. Okay, so it's white's turn. This is a legal move. This is legal move. This is a legal move. This one is not, because if we were to pick it up, its surrounding spaces are standing stone. So it's looking like it's working, and we can also lock this in and give us the appropriate legal moves. So that's looking right. So we've at least got our top left corner case fixed for our surrounding in on legal moves, and we did track down a bug where all of our left edge cases weren't able to move, which was the last time we crashed, and that was the whole reason we actually started to rehaul our debugging, is because we needed to find out what was going wrong there. So since we fixed that, and now once we finish fixing our surrounded by illegal moves logic, which we're starting right here, once we finish that, we'll be able to hopefully minimize any times the game can crash. And then we'll have to add one more thing where it's like, if your next move row and next move column dot occupants plus your milestone occupants is greater than 14, then we can't allow you to pick up those stones in the first place, so you should be a legal move as well. So we'll have to figure out that as well. I'm gonna call today. I'm gonna call it for today because I've got to get going very shortly. But we did track down a bug and fix it, and we started to implement this new feature, which is nice. So I'm gonna get at everything with a commit message saying we fixed edge case legal move bug, started to implement false legal moves if surrounded by capstone, laystone, or 14 occupants. I'm gonna push it, call it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll get chugging along more. I just have to get going for today, but I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we'll get some more features done, and we're almost done. Almost done.